I'm David Pender Lofgren in for Robert Sarazin Blake, who will be back next month. You're listening to the Subdued Radio Hour. Well, without our fearless captain behind the helm this month, it only seems appropriate that we start with a song by Mr. Robert Sarazin Blake. This is from 2017. This is the year that, I believe this is the year that Robert had released Recitative, his double LP, and he built a big band out of local musicians from Bellingham and the surrounding area. And so we've got the Robert Sarazin Blake Big Band with a track called Really Hard in 2017.
It's really hard, it's really hard, it's really hard to figure out. Well, someone doesn't love you when you love them. It's really hard, it's really hard, it's really hard, really hard to figure how. Someone can't love you when you love them. And you really, really want, you really, really want, you really want to know where. Someone is putting their love when you love them. It's really hard, it's really hard, it's really hard to believe. When someone says they don't love you, love them. It's really hard. It's really hard to paint a new picture. When you just want the old one instead. It's really hard, it's really hard, it's really hard to make sense of the past tense. When someone used to love you, you still love them. But it's really hard, it's really hard, it's really hard to believe it. When someone says they don't love you and you love them. dots to connect. Hard for the bread to break. Hard for the train to arrive. Hard for the vowels to rhyme. It's hard for the sun to set. It's hard for the sun to rise. It's hard for the apple to red. It's hard for the apple to be green. It's hard for the apple to be when you love someone they don't love you.
Robert Sarazin Blake and his very big band. That's from 2017. Let me see if I can do this right. The big band that year was Mark L'Esperance on guitar, Stephen Blair on bass, myself on the drums, Nora McLaughlin, and Megan Yates singing backup vocals, Thomas Deacon, Mars Lindgren, and Joel Ricci, the Bellingham horn section. And of course, Robert Sarazin Blake. Oh, and I think maybe John Elliott might have been playing piano as well on that track. Wow, that takes me back. That's great. You know, one of the things about the Jamboree that, in my mind, it could be a seemingly small piece that sort of is one of the many things that sets it apart, is the program from the Jamboree. The program is a true labor of love from cover to cover. It has been designed by many different people over the years. For a long time, the Bison Bookbinding would do They would make an actual letter-pressed cover for it. And something that people I don't think fully realize is that Robert spends at least a couple of weeks, if not a month, writing the contents of the program. So most festivals, when you read the program, they just put whatever the bio is that the band sends in their slot, when they're describing the artists. For the Jamboree program, Robert crafts a description of every artist. So it's not often that the artistic director is also writing all of the descriptions. And I want to read some of those descriptions. For years, I've been saving these programs, hoping I'd have some reason to open them up again. And here we go. I'm finally doing it. So this is from the 11th annual Subdued Stringband Jamboree. This is the description that Robert wrote for the next band we're about to hear from. Most Saturday nights at Temple Bar, this music will remind you why it's so good to live where you do. John Sampson and crew are constantly making compelling music under the radar and outside of the box. When the film about your life is made, this music will fill the broken-hearted scene of your late-night walk up Holly Street. God, that's beautiful. Here they are from 2011, Bar Tabac.
Amanda Blythe on this next one. From where we live, we can look across and see actually Mount Baker some days, and from directly where we live and the neighborhood Amanda grew up in, you can see Port Angeles, and sometimes when the lights are shining, it's quite beautiful, and then sometimes you can see the mountains behind that. So this one was inspired by some of the scenery around Victoria, as well as across BC, and also influenced by the devastation the pine beetle has left behind. And I don't know if the pine beetle is here yet. Hopefully it doesn't come across the border. But when you look at a lot of the trees, they've turned bright red, and it's not fall, and they're not supposed to turn red. So it's quite an eyesore. But this is called Lights Across the Water, and it's on our first album.
Lights across the water, lights around this town. Well, I wonder where the stars have gone. Have they fallen to the ground? Have they fallen to the ground? Rocks atop a hillside, piled all around. Well, did you know that there are people here buried underground? They are buried underground. As I lean to the wind and I turn round again. Red trees on a hillside long before the fall. Well, I wonder when the summer comes, will the fires take it all? Will they take it all? A wind come down the mountain, day breaks on the shore. As I wonder about those buried here, the ones that came before, the ones that came before. As I lean to the wind and I turn round again. Lights across the water, lights around this town. Well, I wonder where the stars have gone. Have they fallen to the ground? Have they fallen to the ground? As I lean to the wind and I turn round again, and I lean to the wind. Thank you.
The Sweet Lowdown from Victoria, BC. Let's see, that year in 2013, Robert wrote of them, when Roeder set up his mill on Whatcom Creek in 1852, the nearest city was Victoria, BC. A few years later, Dirty Dan rode distilled spirits from Victoria to the Fairhaven shore. Bellingham's connection to our old sister city is now confused by freeways, ferries, and border crossing. We warmly welcome our neighbors from the west and hope, in the spirit of Dirty Dan, they made a stop at the duty-free. Their harmonies will catch your ear, and their instruments will stop you in your tracks. One of the beautiful things about living where we do and having a music festival where we do is that we often have international musicians coming down from just across the border. Let's stick with that theme and listen to some John Reischman from 2015.
Well mad, and I know true love. Well mad, said he. I'm just returning from the salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. I could have married the king's daughter fair, and she would have married me. But I've forsaken her crown of gold, and it's all for the love of thee. Come in, my own true love. And then she said to him, I can't come in and I can't sit down, for I have but a moment's time. They say you're married to a house carpenter, and your heart will never be mine. Grows green on the banks of Bittery. Then she picked up her sweet little babe, and kisses gave it 3. Saying, stay at home, my darling little babe, and keep your papa company. And he jumped on a milk-white steed, and her on the dapple gray. Rode till they came to the banks of the sea, 3 hours before the break of day. They had not been on the ship 2 weeks, I'm sure it was not 3. And his true love began to weep and to mourn, and she wept most bitterly. Silver and my gold, are you weeping for my store? Or are you weeping for your house carpenter, whose face you'll never see no more? It's neither for your silver I weep, and neither for your store. It's all for the sake of my darling little babe, whose face I'll never see no more. A curse on the sailor, she cried. A curse, she swore. You've robbed me of my house carpenter, whose face I'll never see no more. They had not been on the ship 3 weeks, I'm sure it was not 4. When they sprang a leak in the bottom of the ship, and they sunk for to rise no more. From the salt, salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee.
Let's do a Little Time Sister now.
Thank you very
From 2013, that's Tango Heart with Milonga de mis Amores. And before that, we heard John Reischman and the Jaybirds from 2015 with House Carpenter. Next, what I'd like to try and do is bring in another voice to the conversation. I'm going to give my friend Louis Ledford a call, regular at the Subdued Stringband Jamboree, and see if maybe he can set us up for this next recording of him and Dan Lowenger from 2008. We're going to go all the way back to 2008, but let's see if we can get Louis on the line and have him tell us about this year at the Jamboree.
Are you there?
Hi, Louis.
Can you hear me well enough?
I can hear you great.
I'm in the parking lot of hardware sales. People
What are you
walking
getting?
around with masks that only cover half of their facial orifices.
Well, I was hoping that we could talk about a time before coronavirus. So in 2008, you played at the Jamboree with Dan Lowenger. Is that right?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 2008 it's very probable that Danny and I did a set. I remember we were both wearing white from head to toe. We looked quite angelic. That year, it was cool. I think I found my way up here on my own, and then Dan met me, and then we left together, and I think we went south. That's where I learned from Dan that the best place to do number 2 on the road is Starbucks, because it has only one person bathroom at a time, like unlike a lot of corporate places. So I learned that. What else did I learn? At the Jamboree, one of my favorite memories was, like I said a minute ago, Danny and I were both wearing like all white, like white linen pants and white shirts, being very, like light and summery. But I remember walking up to Robert, who was on his hands and knees trying to get the chain back on his bicycle, his Jambo bike that he rides around and, waves at everybody like himself. And I said, "Can I help you do anything?" And he went, "Well, can you fix this?" And he holds his hands up in the chain, and he's got grease all over. And I'm like, "Not wearing what I'm wearing." And I just said, "Good luck with that," and went on with my own self. But I always liked playing with Dan. He and I made a record together the first year I moved here. Amazing guitar player. I miss Dan. You miss Dan? You should miss Dan. But yeah, that was cool. I really don't know what it sounded like. I'd love to hear it. I guess if I listen to the radio, I will.
Well,
maybe it's
if you tune in,
put on my Patreon page, because I'm trying to hustle my Patreon page right these days. But I hope we were good. I mean, we can't be but so bad if Danny was playing guitar with me. It was always a lot of fun.
Well, we're about to find out together how it sounded right now.
Excellent. I can't wait.
There's an old dead tree by the standing water, looking like an angry man. There's an old dead tree just looking like an angry man. I'm gonna climb his trunk if he looks at me that way again. Hey, hey, baby, don't you think maybe that you wanna lose control? Hey, mama, wanna watch me lose control? You go looking for trouble, gonna fall into trouble's hole. I never said your heart was untrue. Just finish what you start before you start on something new. I'm a little bit tight tonight to be a part of it. I got a lot of things to do. There's a train in the station, you need your reservation, so people don't you push and shove. There's a train in the station, don't you push and shove. Sunlight bleeding through the window, could it be the holy light from above? Once to the other, hey, look at here, brother, 'cause I got a funny joke to tell. I said, look at here, brother, 'cause I got a funny joke to tell. Can you guess how many dreams lie at the bottom of a wishing well? I never said heart was untrue. Just finish what you start before you start on something new. I'm a little bit tight tonight to be a part of it. I got a lot of things to do. Go, Tango. Hey, Marine, have you ever seen a night so purple and mean? Maureen, have you seen a night so purple and mean? Cuddle up to me, baby, we'll pretend that we don't know what it means. I've been looking for you with my very best fine-tooth comb. I've been searching for you with my very best fine-tooth comb. You've been out in the kitchen just banging on the telephone. Come out of your front porch, come out of your parlor, come and join me for a treat. Come outside from your parlor, join me for a treat. I'm gonna kiss you in the shadows by the lamppost out in the street. I never said your heart was untrue. Just finish what you start before you start on to something new. I'm a little bit tight tonight to be a part of it. I got a lot of things to do. Do it again, Dan, do it again. There's an old the standing water, looking like an angry man. There's no dead tree, just looking like an angry man. I'm gonna climb his trunk if he looks at me that way again. I never said your heart was untrue. Just finish what you start before you start on to something new. I'm a little bit tight tonight to be a part of it. I got a lot of things to do. Thanks very much. Thank you.
How sweet and happy seem those days of which I dream, when memory recalls her now and then, and with the rapture sweet my weary heart would beat, if I could hear my mother pray again. If I could hear my mother pray again, if I could only hear her tender voice as then, so glad I would be, would mean so much to me. If I could hear my mother pray. Walk the shining gospel way, and some glad morning she, I know, will welcome me to that eternal home of peace and rest. If I could only hear my mother pray again, if I could only hear her tender voice as then, so glad I would be, would mean so much to me. If I could hear my mother pray again. Her work on earth is done, her life's crown has been won, and she is now at rest with him above. And some glad morning she, I know, will welcome me, that eternal home of peace and rest. If I could only hear my mother pray again, if I could only hear her tender voice as then, so glad I would be, would mean so much to me. If I could hear my mother pray.
Love you, lady, like a flower to the rain. What a
Petunia and the Vipers in 2019. If you're just joining us, I am David Pender Lofgren in for Robert Sarazin Blake. This is the Subdued Radio Hour, and we've just listened to a series of what I would think of as the Jamboree regulars. Ledford with Dan Lowenger, the Shadies from 2008, singing If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again, and just there, Petunia and the Vipers, 2019 with the Moonlit Stroll. All right, let's cruise along to 2013 now. This is a song from Jim Page, the well-known Seattle folk singer. But I'm going to flip through the 2013 program here and see what Robert has to say. Jim has more songs up his sleeve than he has sleeves to hold them. When a song he's written doesn't suit the moment, he'll let the moment write the song. As long as I've been old enough to listen, I've been listening to Jim Page. Every time I see him, he has a song about yesterday and an angle for me to chew on. His song Hiroshima Nagasaki Russian Roulette brought him fame in the 70s, but it's his persistent body of work, consistently challenging the way that we see and think about the world, that will be his legacy. Here he is, Jim Page, in 2013.
This is the kind of song that you write because somebody has to say something. And you don't want to just write a newspaper article or a newspaper story and rhyme it, because that's not really much of anything. You want to get to the core of something. So this is what I did. This is called The Truth Will Get You Arrested. He held that truth like a fistful of lightning, put it out in the world and he let it go. And it went viral out into cyberspace until nobody could say that they didn't know. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. You should have seen him popping off shots in the helicopter as it hovered overhead. Should have seen the figures on the ground duck and run for cover, tangled in the wounded and the dead. It wasn't like they said it was gonna be. There were no heroes in the white hats. And those people on the ground, they weren't even soldiers, they were civilians. What do you think about that? And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. They came for Bradley Manning, put him in a little white room where the light was always on. And they locked the door behind and they said, we're going to give you justice until the justice is all gone. Now what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. What you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Secrets are the fuel that runs the big machine. Secrets are the poison of our history. Secrets are a coward, they don't like to be seen. They hide in mystery, in mystery. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. They say that history is written by the victors who define it and then they nail it down. Yeah, but history is a wheel, and wheels spin around. You can't hide away forever, you know, sooner or later somebody's gonna see. And Bradley Manning blew the whistle, and that makes him a hero to me. What you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Get you arrested. Get you arrested.
Jim Page in 2013, you can hear Robert's cheers of approval from the background, from the backstage. It looks like we're closing in on the end of the show here. I think we've got about time for one more. Before we do, I was poking through this 2015 festival program, beautifully bound and letter-pressed cover here with the blackberries in the jar on the front page. And it's cool. For the 15th annual, someone captured a bunch of subdued memories. So sprinkled through the program are these little boxes that have people's memories from the past, at that point, the past 15 years of the Jamboree. So I want to read a couple of these. Let's see, from Anna Rankin, vendor coordinator. The first year I attended Stringband Jamboree, it poured down rain. I mean poured. I was a volunteer at the gate, and I remember thinking, why are all of these people paying me money to come get soaking wet in the middle of nowhere? Now, 6 Jamborees later, I understand just how special this festival is, and rain or intense sunshine, I will never miss another one as long as I live in beautiful Bellingham. I'm so fortunate and grateful to be involved with the Subdued Stringband Jamboree. Thank you for having me. That's great. It's true. I mean, even in the years that it pours rain, it almost feels special. You know, the years that we have rain, it feels special, especially when you get the rain and the sun at the same time. Okay, one more subdued memory before we kick it to the last song here. This is from Dean Luce, stage builder and musician. It says, Dean says, was going to move away from Bellingham back in 2001, but after the first Jamboree, I just knew I'd never want to go far. I think that's true for a lot of us. I know I've had a great time sharing the Jamboree with people from out of town, and I know that there are plenty of people who have come to the Jamboree first and then decided, I think Bellingham might be the place for me. All right, we got one more. Let's listen to Grace Love and the True Loves in 2015, singing Say What You Gotta Say.
We're going to invite Thomas Deacon up here. Is that okay? He's played in like 27 bands today, right? He played on this song. This is a song he recorded with the True Loves. Yeah, we had him first, y'all. He's mine. I'm sorry. Don't tell his girlfriend that. She might punch me. I don't want to get punched. All right, we're going to do Say What You Gotta Say. Okay? If she punches me with kisses, I'll be happy. All right. Hit the ground running when I saw my past chasing the fear of being lonely and the pain of my heart breaking heavier than gravity, faster than the speed of light, searching for another soul, somebody to do me right. Say what you gotta say, heart is still beating. Crying out for shame, but my faith is never fleeting. Never do I linger, I don't got that kind of time. Baby, I'm walking, I'ma say what's on my mind. Say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do. Come on, Thomas. I can't break it down, y'all. My knees messed up. Break it on. Y'all can break it down for me, though. Break it on down. Break it on down. Break it on down. Now bring it on up. 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 Say what you gotta say. Do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say. Do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say. Do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say. Do what you gotta do. Give it up for Mr. Thomas Deacon, y'all joining us.
All right, that has been another episode of the Subdued Radio Hour. Thanks so much for joining us this hour. I'm David Pender Lofgren, in for Robert Sarazin Blake, who will be back next month. Until then, you can go to stringbandjamboree.com, go diving into the Subdued Radio Hour archives. Our engineer, as always, is Mr. Andy Rick. The Subdued Radio Hour is a production of the Bell Pod Network, a collective of independent podcasts made right here in the city of subdued excitement. See you next time.
When it's blackberry time in Bellingham, it's jamboree time for me. When it's blackberry time in Bellingham, it's jamboree time. Just the audience. One more time. It's jamboree time for. Thank you very much, everybody. The night is not over, but the stage is gonna go dark.